Patrick Star here because he doesn't have a job. He's a famous character that doesn't have a job. About 10 seconds before this, I looked up famous characters that don't have a job. I said Homer Simpson was one, but he has a job, and it's even in the intro at the nuclear factory for Mr. Burns. But he gets fired a lot, I guess, but still works there. Call me Patrick. J-O-B. Go get a job. But we're not worried. I got my loyal likers and subscribers, which I'm getting pretty dang hungry, so hit that button. It's been 3 days without food. 3 days, 4 days? Great cutting hack, I guess. Just don't afford food. I can afford food. I'm just kidding. On the bright side, though, still have a bicep vein. And today is America's Day. Chest Day. But I'm going to do the same thing as that other one and just focus more on the how I do it. Show you the full set. Maybe there's little tips and tricks, which is a little unfortunate because a lot of my tips and tricks are just the right answer. And the right answer is go to failure and go really slow and deep. Easier, it's easy on paper, but it's going to be the same thing today. At least I'll show you a decent tempo, right? You hear people say go slow on the negative, and it's kind of hard. Sometimes you'll go way too slow and then you're able to get like 3 reps, which I don't know if that would still work. Something important to say, though, is there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat. There's probably 2,000. In fact, there's probably 1 billion. There might even be infinite. But which is kind of the whole point of the saying, right? There's 1,000 ways to skin a cat. There's 1,000 ways to do something that will result in the same. However, I do think there are ways to lift and practices to keep that will make you gain muscle. What is wrong with my eyes? That will make you gain muscle faster than the other options. So I find a lot when I do a different exercise or tell people I don't like a certain exercise, like decline bench. I'm going to roast that a lot today just because it's fun to do. And I'm always being just a little funny. To me, I don't think decline is going to be able to target certain parts of my chest as efficiently as other benches. So when I say that doesn't mean decline will not grow your chest. It's hard. It's easy to get, or it's not hard, yeah. It's easy to get defensive when you're like, dude, I've been doing decline for 7 years, and now you're just telling me not to? No. I'm not telling you not to at all. I'm telling you that I don't, and here's why. You can tell me why you do, and guess what I'll do? Give you a big high five. Now I don't even think I'd make fun of you because it all depends on your goals. But if I just choose an exercise over another, it's because I've decided with my own practice and research that is the best lift for me. And a lot of the times it comes down to, do you just like it? If it's a lift that gets you coming back, then you better be doing that lift all the time. Almost every single lift is going to result in muscle growth. I just think there's some that are better. Like a good example, like Arnold press. where you curl up into a press, which is awesome. It like destroys everything, gets you burning like crazy, and that's what people like, something different, because they think it's going to work magically. But it's easy to catch on to little fun things like that. So the Arnold press is a good example. Okay, you're shredding your front delts. They're burning. Why the heck are your curls? Okay, you might get a little benefit from the curls, but at least for me, every time I've done them, my front delts give out way before my biceps, right? So you're doing them with, I don't know, whatever, 40s. The point is you're doing them with less weight than you would either be shoulder pressing or curling. So the best way to get muscle growth is by targeting a single muscle, training that to failure every time. If you're using 4 different muscles for a group for an exercise, only maybe one of them gets 100% cooked, great. That's going to get the most muscle growth, but your biceps weren't even close to failure because the weight you were doing was so easy. So it's like, did you really get that much bicep growth? The idea is you're hitting 2 things at once, but hitting 2 things at once isn't the most optimal way to grow size in one group. So you can do all those multiple body part lifts. You just can't expect the same muscle development at the same rate. It just makes sense. Your shoulders and biceps will both grow a little bit. Or do you want your shoulders to grow a lot a bit and your biceps to grow a lot a bit in the meantime, because you're just doing those the same week anyway? So no point in really combining them. That's like the most famous one. And it's probably the best one anyway. It does seem to work. I mean, it's freaking Arnold. Are you gonna tell him no? Yes, I'm totally gonna tell him no, because we got science now. Just something to keep in mind. A lot of fad workouts. Not fad, but we just crave something different, like any cool little tip or trick. It's the split. That's why I'm not big. That's why. It's the workout. It's because I'm not eating the fancy yogurt that they make. It's always just because you haven't been going for 10 years. But we got to take it a day at a time, honestly. So today is chest. And I'm going to show you just how to do it. It's going to be just 3 exercises. 1 tricep. We'll do, you know me, I'm an incline slut. Or, am I allowed to say that? I'm an incline SLUT, baby. So I'm going to start off with an incline, do a fly, and then an incline. Which doesn't seem that fun, but it's very fun. Also, something to keep in mind, we got people changing up exercises a lot, which I get. It's a good way to ensure you're more sore and hit different parts of a muscle. But I kind of thought about it. So you spend 3 months, you switch your exercises. You do flat bench, incline, and flies. Great. You train those. You get those strong and big for 3 months, and then you change it just so you can feel more sore, and then you can let those muscles underdevelop so you can get somewhere, you're not really catching other muscles up, that you lose muscle quick. So you spend all that time getting them strong and getting them in the spot where you can really push and make progress past your plateau, and then you switch it. Why would you? It just doesn't make any. There is no such thing as shocking the muscle. That's 100% false. But I get it to change. You'll be a different sore the next day, so you feel like you're making way more, and you probably are. Right? Like if you're doing bench, you might hit peripheral muscles differently. or not even peripheral. There's just a lot going on. So I don't like really changing it, because I spent all that time getting it to the point where I can start pushing past my plateau with my dumbbell incline. Been doing that for 6 months. And then just throw it away to go do something completely different. I don't get that. If I do it for like a barbell incline, that would be okay. But I shouldn't even say okay, because I don't really know. But to me, that's how it makes sense. I'm going to train the same thing. Your body gets good at what you train, right? You ever notice if you can go work a job, construction, moving brick, shoveling, and you're cooked. But then you'd go work a bank job where you stand all day, and it's a completely different, you're inside, but I bet you'd be cooked because you were standing all day, and it's different than moving and shoveling and moving, you'd be cooked in a different way. So don't let that fool you. You switch a workout and you're way more sore. It's just because your body's not really used to it. So you're not like magically growing more muscle. It's just something to think about. I haven't really changed any of my lifts. I'll do different ones here and there for convenience, but for the most part, everything's pretty the same. Like I said, I'll switch from like dumbbell to Smith, but nothing drastic. I don't change the skeleton of it, really. Something to keep in mind. Personal preference thing. There's my thoughts on it. For now, let's just get in there and show you cats how to properly do some incline bench. All that. All that work. Have we look. Ghosted by these hoes. Look. The gym bag essentials. Today we have wrist straps or wraps. What are the ones for back called? Are those wraps or straps? Both. These wrap around your wrist. The other ones don't. Wrist wraps. But you wrap the other one around the bar. Who knows? But we got them. Wallet. Whole lot of good use that is these days. Won't get very far without those. And then this. Tape measure. In case someone comes up and questions the size of my dick. And that's that. Alright. On to the real part. The weight will never matter, as long as it's making you fail around 8 to 10 reps. It's the only thing that matters. Same thing. Low and slow. Deep stretch. Rotate the dumbbells a little so you can get deeper. A little more natural flare to the elbow. Deep as possible. Up. Nice and slow. Up. Keep your back flat on the bench as much as possible. Can't really rest my head because the hat. Not very smart. Oh my. Oh. Couple quick notes. Keeping the back flat. This bench isn't that good for that. For some reason, it arches your back more. So it's more comfortable. But the more you arch your back, the more it turns into a flat bench. I'm trying to work my upper chest. So this bench is a little funky, but not bad. Nothing to it with that. Just big deep stretch. Next, I'll finish these out. Next, I'm gonna show you some flies. Flies are killer. So we'll go do some flies. Check out these bad boys. And I just saw the guy before me was using this. Look at this. Little fly. Slap that bad boy on there. Gives you a little extra range of motion, which will give you more of what? That's right. A deeper stretch. Which, if you haven't been paying attention, is one of the main ingredients. Oh boy. Getting big. These are nice. Really, I'm only thinking about the negative. My rep is basically the negative. I'm not even thinking about how hard it is to get it closed. I'm just thinking about how slow I can go and big stretch and then ripping it. And these ones are very important. You'll see so much chest activation. All right. I don't even have that much weight. A big thing I'm real into. You don't got to make it heavy, or no. It doesn't have to be heavy. You just have to make it heavy. You can see all those muscle fibers on that deep stretch part. Tiny deke. Slow, big stretch. Getting a little shaky here. Look at my fingers. And then my hands just go numb. And these aren't tight. So I don't know. Oh, that was epic. I wanted to show you though. A lot of times, just about every set, when I fail, what I'll do is I'll go from a fly, I'll bring it in close like this, and then just do like a tight mini bench. And you really squeeze in at the end. So I finish my set and immediately go 1, 2, 3. Squeeze. And then I usually do that right after. I don't even rack the weight. But those might be the hardest chest, just in terms of the burn and the panic. You just want to stop, but don't, and you'll be all right. That was crazy. This exercise ball is nuts. Try this out. If you find yourself at a fly machine with not enough big stretch. But I'll finish these out. And then, you guessed it, another incline that we're probably gonna go till failure with a deep stretch. But there might be some tips and tricks there. We're gonna do Smith machine, so I'll race you there. I already did my first set. Didn't hit the record button, so now I gotta talk you through another one. But it's all right, because the rules are the same, so I don't really have to worry about being consistent. Deep stretch, unfortunately, is the only way. I took my hat off because I'm tired of it getting in the way of the bench. Biggest thing, I made the camera so you can see my lower back. You're trying to keep it like that. Keep it on the bench. Otherwise, you start turning it into a flat bench. That's the biggest thing. Third biggest thing. Failure, deep stretch, slow. Fourth biggest thing. Slow rep. And then what was it? Oh, back on the bench. Fifth biggest thing. Make sure your elbows are bent, make your grip kind of 90 degree. See how they're 90? If I went in, see how they're getting closer and closer? What's that turn into? Oh, we got a little tricep. Spread them out. I know you don't want to. It's a little bit easier in here. 90 degrees, so my pinkies, you find your mark. But here we go. Nothing to it, keep that back. Slow. As deep as you can. This grip is pretty wide. Keep that back. Oh man. I don't even know how many reps that was. Not enough. Or just enough. Because I went to failure. Oh, my neck. It's always going to be my neck. That one's easy. They all are simple. Can't stay consistent with those words. Just go as deep as you can. Obviously the bar is going to stop you. Keep that back on the bench. That's the biggest thing I can point out. Your homework assignment. Keep that back on that bench. If you want muscle growth. If you're going for strength, sure. Arch your back all you want. It's not the best for muscle growth though. It's good for power and strength and keeping the tight core, all that. That's great. This is purely for bodybuilding. So screw that. We don't arch our backs around here. Unless, here's a little pump up. There you go. All right. And then despite all cells in my body, I'll show you how to do some triceps. It's the easiest thing ever. Or the simplest. Again, it's the simplest. So I'll see you over there. The best angle of them all. One where you can't see me. I just usually do triceps on my knees. I think it's because there's no rest point. So if I'm on my knees, in order to completely stop the set, I have to stand up like such. In example given. So you want to look a little fruity, if you will. Keep that back straight. Be as stiff as a board. Try to make it so your elbows are the only thing moving. Right? Go to the top. Deep stretch. This bar is huge. That was not by design. It's just lightweight. And all the other ones are taken. So it still works. Use whatever attachment you like. Top hand, so you can just go sicko mode. Underhand makes it so you can't push as much weight for as much. Ow. I just Taco Bell my head on the bar. Push as much weight for as much. Ow. Let's just do this stupid workout. I don't even like triceps. Same principle though. That deep stretch is the top rep right here. I try to just keep my elbows in. Controlled. And I'm on my knees. Just a little arch in the back just to keep it all tight and consistent. And I'm squeezing at the bottom. Oh, there you go. Towards the end, I'll probably start swinging a bit. Yeah. Oh. Just by now, my triceps are dead anyway from the workout. So this is just a bonus, really. But that's it. Top hand. You'll never convince me otherwise. You can go to a machine if you like it better than the cables. I think the cables is all you need. Well, really, I think the chest is all you need. Just keep it in mind. Simple. It's nothing fancy. It's all push to failure. So I'll finish these out. And thus concludes the best day. Chest day. See you ladies back in the car. And I know what you're thinking. How are you in the shade right now? Isn't there usually no shade at the gym? And you'd be right. I'm just parked in someone's parking spot at an apartment complex, hoping they don't show up because I don't like how hot my phone gets right after the gym. So I wanted to start in the shade. Huh? And now we might be clear to go. Wouldn't be surprised if I got towed during that though while I'm just in the car. Whatever. Maybe they'll hire me. Like, hey, I'll tow myself. If you pay me $100, I'll just drive to the lot. And then you can hire me. What do you guys think? Are you disappointed again that every answer is to just have a deep stretch and go to failure? Because let me tell you, seatbelt. I am also disappointed that is the case. If it was, I would tell you guys, if it was something different, trust me, I wouldn't be doing all this extra work if it wasn't the right answer. You think I would choose the long, boring one that sucks? No way, dude. I would love to do all the little fad diets and fad workouts. Unfortunately, and that's just because my goals are different. That's something we need to get clear. Goals. Everyone argues so much about fitness stuff. What if you just don't have the same goal as me? That's very possible. No one specifies that before. Because I have so many conversations with guys my age. Oh, I want to get bigger. And I end up going way too intense on them. intense in the way that I just over share, or I might just get fired up and I'm like, you're not doing anything right. Not them specifically, but just like the subjective you. That's a thing. That's a noun. But I'll go too intense and I'm like, no, you gotta be perfect, blah, 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 blah. But really, because all they told me is they want to get more jacked. So I immediately assume they want to be show ready by next year, which probably isn't the case. But they also got to be aware that their goal is different too. Because they might have Chris Hemsworth as their goal, and they don't even really realize it. That's just kind of what they had in mind. It's just not obtainable. So I guess find out your goals before you have a discussion, right? So, because I can tell you, failure, blah, 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 go deep stretch, which is the most optimal way to build muscle. Point blank, period. That's it. The most effective and optimal way. Bang for your buck. You go slow on the negative. You go to failure every set. You progressively overload. You increase your weight as you get stronger. That's it. Now, if it's someone who's casual, doesn't have the time to go to the gym, doesn't have the time to meal prep, acknowledge that. Acknowledge, okay, maybe I can't look like Chris Hemsworth really any time in your life. I hate to admit that, but if you're the guy that's like, I just want to feel better, look a little better, that's perfect. A-okay. You just got to know, are you thinking, because let's be real, if you haven't worked out and you're shooting for so I keep using Chris Hemsworth there's Chris Hemsworth from Thor, Love and Thunder, when he gets his clothes ripped off, he's like, rah, that guy looks sick. I like to think I'm getting kind of close, but not quite. Then that's what I think everybody has in mind by the way they talk about it. And what a lot of people probably have in mind would be like Chris Pratt from Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one, where he, that's kind of when he transitioned from Parks and Rec to little bigger movies. And it was Marvel movies, so he had to get in shape. He looked pretty good. And the thing is, the real killer, no one will ever want to hear, say Chris Pratt, that looks obtainable. He looks great, by the way, he looks awesome. But people, that body is, you can't get there off of being just mundane with it. You still gotta be, he even has videos of him dieting, and it's like midnight, and he's like, please, can I just have a little snack of his cake from tomorrow? And it seems so miserable. Well, A, because it is. B, it is. It sucks. That's part of it, though. I don't understand why everyone thinks... we all are very good at understanding that it takes work. Oh yeah, it's going to be hard work, it's going to be a long grind. It's so easy to say that before. And then as soon as you're in the hard work, you immediately don't recognize it as the hard work that's going to grant you progress. It's your body is just like, that's a threat, get it out of here. Whatever it is. So how can we stop that? And for me, I categorize those as moments. I just call them the moment. And if you can catch the moment, and when I say moment, say you're current, you want to be better. For me, I'll say what I'm doing. I would love to be nicer, not even nicer. I want to love everybody with truly love, though. I know everyone's, oh, you don't love everybody? You don't know what I mean. If you don't get what I'm saying, then you don't get it. I'm talking truly deep down in the way that God would love you. I want to love everyone. So I know that's going to take basically forever. And when I catch myself, say I'm with a coworker, well, I guess not anymore because I don't have a job. If I had a job and I was with a coworker, and we were butting heads, and I am able, if you can recognize the moment, if you can catch yourself, you're already 90% of the way done. Say our emotions getting high, we're getting name-cally, and this has never happened. I'm just an example. We're getting excited, and then I can catch right then and there. I'm like, oh, I'm so mad right now, but this is a moment. And by the moment, I mean, this is where I usually mess up, call him a name, and make no progress. So if I can catch in that moment, things are, no matter how heated I am, if my voice in my head says, Tony, this is a moment, to me, it makes it that much easier to just excel. Be like, oh, this is, because I recognize in order to make progress, you have to hurt. You have to go through trials. It's everywhere, no matter what. You're not gonna feel good. You're not gonna have butterflies in your tummy. You're not gonna feel relaxed. I mean, why the heck would you? If that were the case, everybody that did that would just be the most successful people in the world. And then, well, those guys are just lucky. Anyway, catching the moment. So for me, I'm like, oh, I'm getting heated. It's a good chance for me to separate my mindset. Put it over here. Oh, Tony's feeling crazy emotion. He wants to call him a big jerk and run away. But I see that. Even though my emotion, you can feel the emotions all you want. Who cares? Don't do anything with them. So that moment, you catch it. Oh, don't call him a big jerk, even though you want to. You just count to 15 seconds if you have to. And then by those 15 seconds, by the time those are done, usually you don't want to call him a name. So if you can recognize that moment, so like in the gym where you're about to feel bad, or not about to, you do just feel like crap. You want to go home. The sets you're losing strength. And your human self in all of that is like totally ready to go home. You're doing the boy math. You're like, well, I worked out yesterday. I ate bad. And that's super easy to just keep that momentum, and then you leave, you justify it, bada bang. You just let a moment slip right past. And it's not like you have a moment every now and then and it's a triumphant, oh, look, you have moments every hour, bro. If you don't, you're lying. But you should be having them all the time. So if you can recognize, next time if you can just separate your conscience from your subconscious, right? You're going through the motion, okay, I'm gonna skip, I worked out hard yesterday, I haven't eaten. Perfect, everything lines up. I'm able to go home. And then guess what I do? I go home. So if you at least recognize that moment and you're like, boy math, I can go home. And then if you're just like, oh, this is just human. This is my human side doing anything it can to just go back to comfort. So I don't make not so I don't make progress, but I just want to be comfortable. So I'll stop making progress most likely. Catching that moment and just say it out loud. And then I bet if you continue, I'm doing the boy math. Oh, okay, I can go home. But then I'm like, oh, here's a moment. This is what separates me from everybody else. And it literally is. Every moment. When you're about to go home. When you're about to be mean to someone. When you're about to do that. This or anything. If you can recognize it, you can still feel you can be mad, happy, sad, depressed, anything. That's going to happen. That's just human nature. You were trained to feel emotions and respond. You weren't trained to react, though. Your body is what's reacting. If you just sat there, let your coworker be mean to you, then that's great. Your emotions, you feel whatever you want. Who cares? That's just what you're feeling. You just sit there. And then nothing happens. You don't say anything mean. Lo and behold, you just held on to that ridge. You let it pass through you. Boom. You just trained. Now you're just 1% better. Because you just recognized a moment and you just shut up. And same for the gym. If you recognize the moment, you're starting to do the math of how you can get home easier and quicker. And, oh, maybe I can eat this. I did better. Just catch it. Just say, oh, this is a moment. And if you follow through with it, you'll feel bad. And that sucks, but it kind of is good. Then you start keeping yourself accountable. If you catch a moment, say it out loud with your mouth. Be like, Mr. Tony, this is a moment. And then if you decide to continue skipping the gym or whatever, you recognizing it is already going to make you feel a little bit heavier later that day. Like, I even knew. And then if that happens, you might be in. You might be ready to take over the whole world. But that's how I attack it. If you at least recognize it, you don't have to enjoy it. You don't have to turn everything into stuff you enjoy. You can to make it sustainable. You try to. But sometimes you just got to white knuckle it and feel like shit. But if you bury that, you're never going to get better. If you keep burying the gym, if you keep burying your anger, if you keep burying your hate, it has to pass through you. You have to feel it. You have to analyze. Why do I want to skip the gym? And if you really try to figure out why, you're like, that's lame. Because I'm insecure, because I hate this and hate that, and it's always just going to be a dumb answer. And if it's not a dumb answer, you're not being honest with yourself. Which you don't want to hear me say, because I'm not you. But I notice a theme. So anyway, there's a chest day. Catch the moment when you want to skip, when you want it, whatever you're working on. Anytime you're about to slip, if you can recognize that it's a moment, and then that moment becomes, all right, this is where I can make progress. And you know it. And if you know it deep down in your balls or boobs, then you're in. Then everything, you apply that everywhere. And then suddenly you start making progress and excelling everywhere. And you're like, whoa, crazy. Just an idea. A little food for thought, a little tib talk, if you will. Tib. That's right. That still sounds terrible. Well, hope you learned a lot. I know I did. I learned that I don't like being jobless. I'll probably say the same thing tomorrow. But I'll worry about that tomorrow. Day by day, everybody. So with all that, I'm going to go probably eat a couple string cheese and melt my skin off in this heat. It's going to be awesome. Until next time.